I had this biased teacher that I experienced, especially I was being targeted just because I was having a person with autism.
And I would feel really bad because, he was a pretty fine older brother to me. It just felt like parang he was always being judged.
I admit I had to retaliate because of what they did to me was really wrong. Because of that incident, I had to hit back. That's why I know I was also wrong there.
His detail-orientedness is even better than a computer sometimes. When he does something, it's all correct. There's almost hardly any mistake.
I'm Jose Luis Nava. You can call me Joel for short. I'm 38 years old and I'm Operations Associate at One Export Trade and Services Inc.
Hi, I'm Mel. I'm 36 years old. I'm the co-founder of One Export and
We're siblings!
kuya ko siya.
During my childhood, I was being bullied when I was young, especially when I was in elementary and high school. When I was in elementary, people were hitting me, people were calling me names, especially because I was so smart. In high school, I had this biased teacher that I experienced, especially I was being targeted just because I was having a person with autism.
Joel and I didn't go to the same school. Obviously, I would hear about this and I would feel really bad because, he was a pretty fine older brother to me. It just felt like parang he was always being judged. But, actually, his grades were higher than mine, di ba? And I was considered normal, right? And so, there were a lot of things. I feel like he was mostly misunderstood. I think between us siblings, he was actually the most obedient to my parents. And so that's why I think my mom really, really cared about Joel because he was such a kind and loving person. I remember my mom telling me when I was a kid na, we have to give Joel some concessions because he's a special child. I remember our childhood being like he will go to PCMH, so Philippine Children's Medical Hospital. So Joel will spend Monday, Wednesday, and Friday taking speech therapy, and that went on for years. I mean, I remember after school we would pick him up, or I would have to wait for his speech therapy to end.
Of course, I admit I had to retaliate because of what they did to me was really wrong. So because of that incident, I had to hit back. That's why I know I was also wrong there. But people were telling me to ignore them or get away from them. That's why I realized I have to think to divert myself from the attention.
So I think I can explain what there was a particular incident. We had a maid, she's been with us for a good 18, 20 years, right? And yung maid na to, because ang tagal niya na sa amin, talagang sinasabi niya sa mga tao na, di naman magaling yan eh, yung bobo-bobo niyan eh. Parang sinasabi niya, naririnig ni Joel, naririnig ko na sinasabi niya. Obviously, I would feel hurt, but, Joel would keep quiet for the longest time. Like, hindi siya magre-react. But I think that one time, napuno siya eh. One day, he came from school, and the maid was, saying things. And nasaktan niya yung katulong. And I think that was the first time my parents brought him to a psychiatrist who eventually diagnosed him. I will tell you, when we were kids, I would watch like mga CNN, international, and they would talk about autistic children. And I remember telling my mom like, baka kuya is autistic, right? And my mom would tell me, hindi, we went to a specialist, we went to a child specialist. Hindi naman siya na-diagnose ng ganon. And I think after that incident, my parents decided to bring him to a psychiatrist. Doon siya na-diagnose ng Asperger's. So, I mean, he was 22 at that time, I believe, no? Because I think I was 19, I was 2 years younger than him. And my mom, after that diagnosis, brought me to her room and, she said it. And she said, we just have to find a way. My parents, who were growing, who were also first-time parents, diba? They were first-time parents to Joel. Joel was their first child. They didn't know, like, wala sa generation nila yung special child. Wala sa generation nila yung autism, yung mental health, yung mental wellness, right? And they were expected to understand these things differently, So I think for the longest time, my parents must have been in denial because Joel is a high-functioning child. He was treated like if he was doing something wrong, pinapagalitan siya. There was no special treatment. He was expected to have high grades because iniisip ng parents ko normal na child siya eh.
At first, it was very painful that it went rock bottom. That's why when I learned about it, I had to do formal research about this condition. I'm thankful that I finished my studies despite having my condition. Now I'm in my 4th company right now and I'm doing well in my work.
When he was diagnosed, it obviously became a family thing, right? Like, because it was like, how are you gonna navigate this? Part of Asperger's is it's high-functioning autism. And I think one of the things that, we all found out is that parang your social skills get affected. But during that time, there was a conscious effort on his end to go to church, make church friends. He will join different organizations, right? Because he knew the social skills were his problem eh. And so for him, how can I fix this? Now, he actually has more social events than us. He will go to, sasabihin niya sa parents ko na, I'm gonna go to church. I'm gonna go to this event. One of the feedback I got from, his manager was out of 1,000 fields in Excel, he would only get 4 wrong. His detail-orientedness is even better than a computer sometimes, right? And that was, that's how you know that, people with, autism, with Asperger's, you could actually employ them, right? Because even me, I was shocked. Like, because obviously, our relationship at home is like, he's my brother. But when somebody tells you that, oh no, like when he does something, it's all correct. There's almost hardly any mistake, right? And, you know that you could actually employ people with special needs. Joel's not our first persons with disability hire. Actually, our first one was a deaf employee. And she's also very dedicated in her work. And so when Joel came, we already knew that they were special in a way that we knew they were so dedicated to the job and we knew that they were going to do a good job. They were going to perform well. We wanted people to accept other people for who they are. I think generally the team works well with each other. Joel works well with his team, and the team works very well with Joel.
Don't think about your disability. Think about it at what skills that you have, and always do your best at work and make yourself and your co-workers proud.
So for us now, when we hire persons with disability, we don't hire them kasi naawa kami. Like, no, we don't. We hire them because they're really good and they have something to bring to the table. They are good workers and they are dedicated to their jobs. And honestly, if you treat them well, they will stay loyal to you. You will not have a problem with churn or training because they will really do their best and make it work, right? And so for me, they may always be overlooked because you could always hire, everybody is hiring, everybody is, there's so many fresh graduates you could hire. But, for me, give these people a chance and you will see what magic it does to your business.
Ausome Stories is supported by Mylo Speech Buddy. Download now and get your free trial for the month of April.